Before the video starts, I just want to let you guys know that over 90% of you watching this video aren't even subscribed to the channel. So if this is something you like, basketball related content, then be sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss an upload. And also please be sure to turn on your notifications so you don't miss an upload. And also, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like. That makes a big difference in helping this channel grow. With that being said, back to the video. What's going on, guys? So today I wanted to talk about a team that has been on my mind for a while now. They are a very interesting team to talk about, and I haven't really gotten the chance to talk about them for different reasons, but they've made a lot of noise this year and they're very interesting. So yeah, I want to talk about today the Phoenix Suns. They are okay. I think it's fair to say this: when they got Chris Paul, everyone knew right away this is a playoff team. You have Chris Paul, Devin Booker, who's been a star for a while now. Putting Chris Paul with this young team automatically makes them a playoff team. And it was even more prevalent after what Chris Paul was able to do in OKC. But yeah, so when Chris Paul was traded to the Phoenix Suns, everyone's like, oh, they're a playoff team immediately, right? But they are significantly better than just a playoff team with the way that they've been playing as of late, especially because they are 32-14. And they had the second seed in the West. Now, the Western Conference is obviously incredibly stacked. So, you know, I think in my preseason predictions, I had them either the 4th or 5th seed, right? And I thought that, you know, it would be that way because of all the incredible competition that's above them. But given the current circumstances with the league, especially with all the injuries, right? The Lakers don't have LeBron and AD. You have to have that caveat in there. You know, the Clippers are kind of up and down, but with the Lakers basically being down, that has given the Phoenix Suns a lot to capitalize off of. And even with the West at full strength and everyone being healthy, the Suns are still pretty damn good, right? They've won, I believe it's 24 out of their last 30 games, which is ridiculous. They've beaten a lot of very good teams, so you can't just say that they're beating all these scrubs. And you know, if you look at their team numbers, you can see why this team is looking like a team that could make noise, especially in the postseason. Because let's look at this right now. They are 8th in offensive rating, 5th in defensive rating. Their overall net rating is 2nd in the league. They're 5th in defensive efficiency field goal rating, 6th in overall effective field goal rate. They're 2nd overall in the league in assists, which makes sense because you have Chris Paul on your team. And why are the Phoenix Suns doing so well, right? I think there's a lot of different factors, but the biggest one obviously being Chris Paul, because everyone knows how great Chris Paul is. He's been great in this league for a very long time, right? He's been in the league since 2004, and all these years we've known how great he has been. He's a Hall of Famer. He has had such an incredible career, even though he hasn't won a championship, even though he hasn't even been to the finals. His career is still, you know, it's a legendary career, right? And his impact on teams is probably what's going to stick out for me in terms of his legacy. What he did in New Orleans when he was there earlier, what he did all those years for the Clippers, what he did for the Rockets. They were one game away from the finals. And probably what sticks out for a lot of people, because it's more recent, is Chris Paul's impact on the OKC Thunder, right? Because everyone didn't even think that he was going to stay with the Thunder. Because after he was traded there, I was like, okay, the Thunder aren't even going to bother to keep him. They'll probably send him to, like, I don't know, Miami or Milwaukee or somewhere else that, you know, they could use a point guard, right? But he stuck around, and they had, you know, according to all the experts, the Thunder had a virtual 0 chance of making the playoffs. But just with Chris Paul's impact alone, and obviously the incredible play with all their young guys, they ended up being the 6th seed, which was definitely a big surprise to everybody. They got the 6th seed, and they were against the Houston Rockets with Harden and Westbrook, took them to 7 games, and were probably just like a possession or 2 away from beating them. That is what Chris Paul's impact is. He made that OKC Thunder team a playoff team that actually almost won a series, right? He's incredible. He is just incredible. There isn't much else you can say about him. So when he signed with Phoenix, it was exciting for a lot of different reasons, because the Suns have been basically, for all of the years that I've been watching basketball, so basically since 2008, the Suns have been they've not really been good, right? Like, minus a couple of years, where that 1 or 2 years that I watched where they had Steve Nash and Amari Stoudemire, even then they weren't like this great team that everyone was talking about, right? So basically for the entire time I've watched basketball, the Suns have been one of the worst teams in the league. They've never been in the playoffs. They've collected all this dust. They never really had all this incredible talent, except for recently, right? They got Devin Booker in 2015, I believe. He's become a really, really good player, a great scorer, but obviously because of the team he's on, he gets overlooked as an individual player. He gets underrated. He gets snubbed for all-star games. His overall great performances they don't really get as much respect. Booker put up 70 points in a game, right? But since they lost that game, no one really is impressed. So that's who Devin Booker is. And I remember even last year when people were like, Devin Booker either has to get the hell out of Phoenix. Like, I know that Phoenix is great for him. The city's great. It's, there's a lot of benefits with just being in Phoenix in general. But if he wants to win, he got to get out of Houston. He got to get out of Phoenix, right? Either the Suns have to do something huge to get him help, or, Booker has to go. But then they signed Chris Paul, and that obviously changed everything, because I'm like, oh my God, Devin Booker has one of the best point guards ever on his team. That's going to be a big time impact. And the Suns in general, they are a young team, right? DeAndre Ayton, who has shown a lot of promise for what he could do, right? But Chris Paul on this team alone has made him so much better, right? Even if his numbers aren't like his career best, which I don't even think they are. I can look them up right now, but I think it's like 14 points, 11 rebounds. His true shooting percentage is actually at 63%, which is the best in his career. But Chris Paul's impact alone, just being on the team, is so incredible. That veteran presence and someone with such an incredible with all these incredible accolades, it's great for them, right? And then you also have guys like Mikal Bridges, who's been great. Guys off the bench, Frank Kaminsky, even guys like Abdel Nader. And I have to shout him out because, we went to the same high school. But yeah, Abdel Nader, they have a good team. They are a very good team, right? And there's the reason they've won so many games this season. So now, obviously, everyone's going to say that, are they just a good regular season team? They're the second seed in the West, which is a big deal because playoff, home court advantage, that's a very big deal, especially in a very competitive Western Conference. So if the Suns, even if they don't get the second seed, if they can manage to get home court advantage, that's going to be huge for them, since they haven't even made the playoffs in over a decade. For them to go from that to a top seed in the West is very impressive. So can they actually make an impact in the playoffs? That's going to be interesting to figure out. But my guess is maybe. I can't really definitively say what's going to happen because a lot of it depends on the matchups. Because if you look right now, the Suns are the second seed. The seventh seed right now is the Dallas Mavericks. So that's not like an easy first round, right? The Dallas Mavericks and Luka, that's going to be a tough series, right? Because the Mavericks gave the Clippers, who last year, who everyone thought was going to be, in the finals and whatnot, the Mavericks gave them a couple of tough games. So, the Suns obviously aren't the Clippers. So could the Mavericks give them a little bit harder of a time in just the first round? It's possible. But also, could the star power of Chris Paul and then Devin Booker's incredible, game and, the guys around him, can they actually get that done? I think it's also very possible. So the Suns could very well be a second round team, but then once you get to the second round, who are they going to end up facing, right? Probably either like the Clippers or the Lakers or the Nuggets. That's going to be tough for them. It's not going to be a cakewalk to get to the conference finals for them, which would be a very big surprise if they were somehow able to get that done. If the Suns made the conference finals, that would be a huge shock, because that means that either the Lakers or the Clippers are out, and a lot of people don't have that. Also the Denver Nuggets, I have to mention them. But for the Suns to be able to do that, that would be a huge deal. I don't see that happening, but again, it could. You know, I can't rule it out, right? Especially after last season, it was very unpredictable. You can't really predict what's going to happen because a lot of it depends on matchups. Are the Suns a real like threat to any of these good teams? I would think so. Like if the Suns and the Lakers or the Suns and the Clippers met in a playoff series, I think it would be a very good and interesting series. It could go 6 games. It could go 7 games. Maybe the Suns can, you know, take it down to the wire every game. Are they going to be a finals team though? I don't think so. I don't think this team is going to be enough to get to the finals, only because of just how dominant the West was. If the Suns were on the Eastern Conference, I think they could make the finals. But again, Brooklyn is going to be there, and they're a whole nother animal. But yeah, the Suns are a very interesting team this season, and I like it because I'm happy to see Devin Booker, you know, playing basketball that's actually going to be meaningful. Because watching him play all these years and be so good, only to be like one of the worst teams in the league, it's sad. But now he's playing on a team that is going to make a lot of noise. I would love to see the Suns like just surprise everybody and like go deep in the playoffs. That would be really fun to watch. But yeah, I just don't see it happening. But yeah, this Suns team is interesting, man. I'm actually really looking forward to seeing what they're going to do in the playoffs. I think it'll be very interesting. And again, it's going to depend on the matchup. But, you know, again, if the first round is against Dallas, that's a pretty damn good matchup. That's a pretty damn good first round matchup. That could be very interesting no matter how it turns out. So, yeah, I mean, you know, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Yeah, and, you know, this Suns success, I think it says a lot about Chris Paul. And I think that's going to be the biggest takeaway. Regardless of what the Suns do this season, Chris Paul's impact is going to be one of those things that we talk about for a long time. So, yeah, I think I'm going to wrap it up here. I think I got a lot of the stuff I wanted to talk about off the chest. This team is so fascinating, and I'm just like really curious to see what's going to happen. So, yeah, it'll be interesting. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you did enjoy, please be sure to leave a like and comment down below what you think about this Phoenix Suns team. Do you think they're real contenders? Do you think they're just going to be one of those regular season teams that does well and then folds in the playoffs? I'm curious to hear what you guys think, so feel free to let me know in the comments. And if you haven't already, please be sure to hit that subscribe button and also turn on your notifications so that you don't miss an upload. And yeah, thank you guys as always for your continued support, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.